Hi everyone, it's Christy. Welcome back to another episode of Frugal February, where we're looking at 28 household items we can use in our junk journals. This is our February journal, a pink journal. It's got tea-dyed pages and watercolor pages, and we will be looking at that a little bit later. But for now, let's take a look at magazines. Today we're going to see what we can do with magazines. And whether you have actual magazines or just get the magazine style mailers in your junk, in your mail from, various organizations who might send you something in a little booklet or whatever. This one's only got about 8 pages or so. But I wanted to show you how I harvest, real quickly. And this is my tin. It does not contain chocolates anymore, but it does contain, it does contain some things I've harvested from magazines. And so, as you'll see here, actually my text blocks don't really belong in there, but that's okay. A few things I had just kind of shoved in here last time I was using it. I look for places in magazines where there's blocks of color, a lot of times around a heading, a title. There will be just some solid color. I love to pull those out, and so I just look for solids, patterns, textures. Here's one that, I don't know, looks like leather or something like that. Patterned like clothing and so forth. I'll pull out grasses or trees or things like that that just have some texture to them. And, here's one with some different brown textures on it. And then what I will use these for is to make clusters. But first, let's take a look at this. I just got it in the mail. It's from February. And what I would typically do is, after I'm done looking at, reading any articles I want to just look at, I kind of look for, are there any words? Like, do I want to save this word Christ? Do I want to save this little quote? Things like that. That's the first thing I'll usually look at. And then I will start looking at the pictures, the photos, and the images. And so this one I see, I like this blue brick wall. That's got some nice texture. The blue here is nice. Even the bricks here, that's a nice background texture that you could use. And so I might just show you a couple things. Even the clothing, there's some lovely pink here and some blues. You can tear those out and use them in clusters and different background, just able to reuse them. Here's some more bright colored clothing. So let's just, I'll just pick one. Let's go with this one with a large sheet of that. And then I usually just grab a ruler. Also, this has some nice dark, just a black type of background that is very good too. So I might just come here and tear that off. And let me find where the top is. And then I'm just going to tear this strip off. So I have a nice black strip that I can use as a border on a page or in making some sort of other cluster. Here's another good piece of black background. There's a nice large piece. And I could tear out this word, finding Christ would be a nice phrase. And I can just, am I still on screen? Yeah. Okay, a little bit of a overhang right there. I can take that out a little bit. Okay. So I have that. I can set that aside. I don't usually I have a different place where I save words, text for magazines. But then I can, might like come in here at an angle follow the angle of her shoulder there and try to preserve as much of this pink color as I can. Don't need the face. I could save kind of this ruffly blue. So that one's got some pink and blue and gray on it. That's a nice texture combination. But now I've got a nice wide, 2 or 3 inch strip there of the pink. And, I could come in here and hand tear a little bit more. There's a smaller piece. The rest of it would be pretty small. I'm not going to save every little tiny piece. But, if it's an inch or more, yeah, I might come in there and save it. So then, you would just kind of keep doing that over and over. See if I can salvage some of the blue there. There's actually kind of some nice color in this piece. Just got some, it's a dark background, but it's got some purple and pink and kind of textures in there. Not a whole lot of blue left over on that piece, but this, like I would typically line up the ruler against a shoulder or something like that. Just follow the natural lines of the color you're trying to retrieve. And there's a nice blue patch. Sky, if you have photos in the magazine that have sky, that usually will frequently yield some nice results. There's kind of some like laundry baskets or something in the background here, and they have some nice texture that could be used. I'm going to grab some more of that texturing up here. Oops. Just adds some variation to things. So you get the idea. I'm not going to do the whole magazine with this together. And then what I do is I will just take out... Oh, another thing I collect, and I usually store them somewhere separate, is just tear out little text blocks. And especially I love the ones that have the drop cap. I just think those are way cool. And they provide a nice visual if you're going to... if you want to layer up some stuff over the top of it or whatever. So that's another thing that I harvest out of magazines is some just general text blocks. Great for collage. Especially a lot of the text blocks will have another color behind the text. Okay, so we're working on a pink journal. So let me pull out some of my pinks. And maybe not the purple so much, but there's... some pinks. Some of those ones we had today had some lovely pinks. Pull those out. Also, be sure to check. Sometimes you can have different colors on different sides of a magazine page. So sometimes just double check both sides and see what you like best. And I'm going to pull that purple one back out. Well, that gives us some choices right there. I think that's for the most part pretty good. So let's start with, I'm just kind of separating them out so I can see what I have to work with. Make sure I'm still on camera. Okay, so I have some darker ones. You can just fan out colors, especially when they're nice strips like that. Let's see here. I might just go ahead and stick with that because I like to be able to have the fanned out colors. And let me see here. Oh, here. Oh yeah, here we go. I like that this one has that pink, the same pink in it as this brighter piece, but let's see if we can kind of combine these into something a little a little more interesting. I'm gonna kind of don't like all the sharp edges on this triangular piece, and so I'm gonna just round it down a little bit so it's not all triangular. And yeah, it'll make it smaller, but it'll also give it kind of a more random shape than all the edges. And how about, what else can I layer? Okay, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to just go ahead and staple these, and then I'm going to glue this little bit on top of the staple. Where's my glue stick? I'm just going to, because it's a small piece, I'm just going to rub it over the top of my glue stick. And this will hide the staple. And give us a nice little finished piece there. Now this one, all I did was staple it. That's kind of a base. I will probably end up putting, I don't know, something like, even like that. You know, I actually kind of like that. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do that, actually. And it doesn't always have to have meaning or make sense. You know, the block of text here, for instance, doesn't have to be about anything specific. It's not even fully legible. I mean, it's torn off where you can't read full sentences. Yeah, I'm gonna just press that down a little bit. So yeah, there. Now that's something that you could glue down to a page or the front of a pocket. And let's see. Again, there's a couple of dark pinks with a lighter pink in the middle. I kind of like that. Staple that, and I will at some point find some text or a little doodad that I want to put on top of that. Could even put this. Ooh. Let me round the edges on this a little bit, maybe a little bit less, maybe not as much as I did on the other one, but I'll just kind of make it a little bit more of an irregular shape rather than just a straight triangle looking piece. And yeah, I'm going to take a little bit more off of this pointy part right there. Okay. And I'm just going to rub that over my glue stick a little bit. And this will just kind of give a focal point in a contrasting color, the blue, and it will hide that staple. Okay. I think you're getting the idea. I don't need to overdo necessarily on the demonstration, but I think you've seen enough to get the idea of what I'm doing here. So I'm going to put those back in there. Now you can certainly bling these up more. I've got examples here where I have used some Nouveau drops or stickles or different things that create kind of some shiny bling, you know, just dropping droplets of the Nouveau drops or whatever onto the magazine pages. That one's right there is a magazine page. I used some punch outs to provide a focal point, and you know, this one I think has a couple magazine pages with a cutout of a butterfly, and then I added some Nouveau drops to that. So, as you can see, the magazine pages can be kind of random. I just left this one pointed. Now, if I get it to where I want to use it and I decide I don't want that, I can still tear it off. But I don't have to, you know, it can be just a random piece like that. So I think that'll do it for today. I just wanted to show you how you can salvage free crafting materials from the junk mail that comes to your house. Magazines are a great source of brightly colored embellishments that you can use in your junk journal. And even the text from magazines, the text blocks are lovely to add some different elements to your page embellishments. Okay, so I appreciate you spending time with me again today. Thanks for joining me for Frugal February. And it doesn't get any more frugal than taking colorful bits out of your magazines to use in your junk journal. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you spending time here. I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.